Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your man James, aka JP, back again with some more Arcade1Up news and updates, and I can't even believe I am making this video. The day has finally come. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is officially free and coming to Arcade1Up in its own Arcade1Up cabinet. This news is so crazy, so exciting, like to the point where I left work early just so I could catch all the videos and all the information about this cabinet, and also so I can make this video here for you guys. But I am beyond excited. This is a day one purchase for me, and you guys know me, I don't really purchase Arcade1Ups all that often just because they are a little bit pricey. But this is the exception, and I cannot wait. The last time I picked up Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was years ago on the original Xbox. I want to say maybe about 5 years ago. I picked this up before the retro video game market and craze got to where it's at today, to the point where this is like $100+ game right now. I think I picked this up for maybe 20-30 bucks. So yeah, wow, okay, so many things to go through and unpack in this video. So what we're gonna do is take a look at the Arcade1Up website, see all the different features, prices, price points, online capabilities, everything that you guys need to know about this Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. We're going to go over in today's video. But before we get into that, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also be sure to check out all of my other Arcade1Up videos. I've been doing Arcade1Up videos over the years, like since Arcade1Up first came out, and I've made like top 10 lists of games I want to see. This was always like number 1 or 2 on my list. Okay, so I am extremely excited. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright, you guys, and here we are on Arcade1Up's website for the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade cabinet. So before we get into all the details, let's go ahead and obviously start out with taking a look at the cabinet itself and seeing how it looks. So we'll start right here with the first image that we get. And you can see that this artwork is actually based off of the Xbox and PS2 versions of the game that I actually showed off in the beginning of this video. It's based off of that cover because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 never really traditionally had like its own dedicated arcade cabinet. It was always a kit for other like Street Fighter cabinets that they kind of just modified into a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. So this artwork on the side is based off of the console versions of the game, but that is the only thing that is based off of the console version of this game. The actual ROM itself is the actual arcade ROM, so that is something to note. But you know, the graphics, they're okay. They're not my favorite you know, one that I've ever seen from Arcade1Up, but they're not bad by any means either. It's just okay. You have that dark blue background, and then you have the riser, which is like a dark blue with like a darker blue on the side. It looks like kind of gradient pattern. You just have the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 logo. But yeah, the graphics are alright. Nothing wrong with them. Yeah, I don't know. They're just okay for me. Like they're not bad, but they don't blow me away either. But you can see these two people just playing on here. So moving on to the control deck, you can see the control deck is similar to the Street Fighter control deck, and that is because, like I mentioned before, in the original arcades that they had to modify like existing cabinets in order to have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on there. So they may have already took like an existing Street Fighter cabinet and you know, threw some artwork on the side or whatever. So that they intentionally made this look like the Street Fighter cabinets to give it that feel of the original Marvel vs. Capcom cabinets being kind of like, you know, retrofitted or modded into a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, if that makes any sense. So I love that attention to detail. And you can see with the control deck, it looks like all their control decks going forward are going to be looking like this, and they just kind of hang off of the side. That's completely different from what we know from Arcade1Up as far as like past cabinets, but we saw it on the Yoga Flame cabinet and a couple other cabinets that have been coming up, that control deck that just kind of hangs off the side like that. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just something different that they're doing. You can really see it right here just hanging off the side. You also do have a molded coin door, which is very, very nice, and you can see that marquee up there, which I'm sure we'll get a better look at in a second. And then the riser, you can see that gradient kind of just goes all the way through, which looks pretty good. Yeah, not really too much to say about this one. I don't know if I like the navy blue background. I think another color might have popped a little bit more. I don't know. I like the X-Men vs. Street Fighter cabinet and the Marvel vs. Capcom original Marvel vs. Capcom cabinets. I think those pop really well, but this one seems to kind of blend in a little bit, just judging off the pictures here, obviously. I think it's just that dark blue background that kind of mutes everything a little bit.
But then going on, we just got some more side views, and then here's another good look at that control deck right there. So yeah, the buttons look good. Everything looks pretty good on here. Then joysticks actually look a little bit different. They look like more skinnier and longer than past bat tops that we've seen from Arcade1Up. So I wonder if they went ahead and changed anything with this, or maybe it's just the angle of this picture or something that's giving off those vibes for me. And you can see the marquee up here again, looking very, very nice. And this is a lit marquee, and then there's the front profile view of the cabinet. So yeah, man, you know, overall I'm just excited. I really don't care. Like this artwork doesn't blow me away, but I don't care. I I really can't believe I'm making this video right now, because the hoops and troubles that it's taken over the years to get a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, or any sort of form of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, is just absolutely amazing. Alright, so enough of me geeking out. Let's go ahead and look at, obviously, all the details. So the pre-orders are going to start September 8th. That's when you'll be able to pre-order, at least through Arcade1Up's website. I don't know if that's going to be for all retailers like Target and Walmart and whatnot. I'm hoping so, because I do want to get this through Target so I can use my Target employee discount. So this is actually going to retail at $599, so $600. So any bit of money that I can save on here, because I'm definitely getting this day one. I'm not waiting for any sort of Black Friday sales or anything like that. I need to have this on day one. So like I said, you'll be able to pre-order on September 8th through Arcade1Up. It's we have yet to see if that's going to be other retailers as well. And a couple other things that I do want to note that are not listed on this webpage, like the price, which is going to be $599. But this cabinet is actually going to have online crossplay. Now, online capabilities aren't new for these cabinets, but online crossplay. So what that means is, if anybody who has this cabinet has any of the other games that are listed on this cabinet, which we're going to take a look at the full games list in a second, but let's just say Marvel Superheroes or X-Men versus Street Fighter, or you know, any one of those games that exists on another cabinet, you'll be able to play them online from this Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. So even though they have different cabinets, as long as they have the same games on those cabinets, you'll still be able to play with them online, which is a game changer and really awesome and amazing. So your friends don't have to get the same exact cabinet as you if they want, you know, different cabinets or different games or whatever. And also, one other thing that I forgot to note is that this version is going to come with every single character unlocked from the beginning. Now the reason for that is, in the console versions, it was much easier to actually unlock the characters on your own just by simply playing the game. But the arcade version, unlocking the characters is actually based on like how many quarters you would actually put into the game, and the more quarters that is sucked up from you, that's how you would actually like unlock the characters. But it would take an extremely long time to do so. So that's why right out of the box, all the characters will automatically already be unlocked for you. I understand why. It just sucks. I would have loved the traditional way of just like playing through the game and actually like unlocking the characters yourself, but I completely understand why they did it, and it actually makes perfect sense. And so that way you can actually like do tournaments and everything and play online with your main character and not have to sit there and grind forever to try and unlock it. So it makes sense, and I completely understand the reasoning behind it. Now let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit, and we're going to look at the games list. So this is going to have 8 titles, obviously with the main theme being Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's also going to have the original Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, and the Marvel Superheroes in War of the Gems. So, let's just say right off the bat, this games list is phenomenal. This is right up my alley. This is honestly my dream Arcade1Up cabinet. They have every single game in here that I could possibly want, which means I am going to be selling my Marvel Superheroes cabinet to also use that money towards getting this Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. So if anybody lives in South Florida and wants to buy the Marvel Superheroes cabinet for whatever reason, definitely hit me up. The Marvel Superheroes cabinet still has a benefit, because that arcade cabinet still has the Punisher on it, and the Punisher, that's not going to be included on here, and there's no other way that you can get the Punisher through Arcade1Up that I am aware of, at least. So let's go ahead and scroll down here and look at some of the features. So like I mentioned before, it is going to have Wi-Fi live online play that is also going to be cross-play compatible. It has the exclusive side panel art, custom riser, light up marquee, 8 classic games, and the headphone jack. And we already took a look at the games that are included, and then here are the dimensions for anybody who is interested in that, but they should be pretty identical to most of the other Arcade1Up cabinets that we've seen in the past. Now this is absolutely crazy. Like I mentioned before, the fact that we're even talking about this right now is still hard to believe. I really hope everybody's going as crazy as I am, and I'm not alone here, but man, this is honestly insane. So one thing that I do want to mention, I watched Arcade1Up's live stream talking about this cabinet with John D and all the people at Arcade1Up, and they said that this could potentially be the last time that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is ever made available. So obviously Marvel vs. Capcom 2 originally came out in arcades, then was ported over to the Sega Dreamcast, the Xbox, the original Xbox, and the PS2, and then years later came out online digitally for the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and that was taken off of the online stores, I believe back in 2013 was the last time it was available. So unless you own the game like me, or have maybe a local barcade or something, or just own the original arcade yourself that you can go play it on, there's really no other way that you can access this game, you know, without obviously like getting emulators and whatnot. There's no other way that you can access this game, and the fact that now it's being made accessible through a miniature arcade cabinet, or, you know, a replica arcade cabinet, is just absolutely amazing. There's no other way that I would have it. I cannot wait to get this into my game room. Like I said, I am going to be selling my Marvel Superheroes cabinet, one, to use the money to pay to put towards the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, but also because I just need the space and one cabinet has to go, and since all of the games excluding Punisher are going to be available on this Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, it just makes the most sense to sell that one. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. If you guys couldn't tell, I am just extremely excited. I can't say it enough how excited and how amazing this is. This is a great time for Marvel fans, for Capcom fans, for arcade fans. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is probably, it's definitely my favorite arcade game of all time, at least fighting game, and I'm sure it's in a lot of people's top like 3 games ever. So this is a big win for Arcade1Up. This is a big win for us as fans. And I'm starting to ramble on and just geek out over this, so I'm going to cut the video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. That link's in the description down below. And that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. As always, guys, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys next time.